Welcome to True Crime Kenya, where we don't just talk about murder and mystery, we talk about power, policy, and the quiet crimes written in law. Because sometimes the deadliest crimes aren't committed with guns or knives, but with pens, seals, and government stamps. Every nation tells its story through its land, and in Kenya, land isn't just soil, it's identity. Its inheritance, its history, its conflict, its wealth. Every tree, every title deed, every disputed acre carries a story, some written in ink, others in blood. From the grabbers of the 1960s, to the golden handshake deals of the 1990s, to the shiny real estate empires of today, Kenya's land history has always been tangled in power. So when Parliament passed the Land Amendment Act 2025, it sounded like redemption. A promise to clean up the mess, to make things transparent, to end the long, ugly marriage between power and property. But laws like people are complicated, and behind every promise written in bold, there's always fine print in shadows. Let's peel back the layers of this new law and see what lies beneath. The Land Amendment Act 2025, what it really is. This act amends Kenya's original Land Act, tightening how public land is handled. Now, every transaction involving government land from allocations to transfers must be published in the Kenya Gazette before it's finalized. It's designed to stop shady deals, the backroom allocations, the mysterious title deeds that appear overnight. It gives citizens the right to see what's happening to public land before it disappears into private hands. On paper, it's brilliant. In reality, it's not that simple. The bureaucracy trap gazetting sounds like transparency. But in Kenya, transparency can be painfully slow. Before a single acre changes hands, it now has to pass through layers of review, approval, and publication. That means weeks of waiting, sometimes months, while paperwork crawls across desks and signatures pile up. Developers, county projects, and even housing programs might stall not because of corruption, but because of paperwork paralysis. And here's the catch. In Kenya, every extra step in a process creates a new opportunity for a facilitation fee. A signature here, a stamp there. Every delay becomes a toll gate. So while the law tries to choke corruption, it might also feed it in smaller, more bureaucratic doses. Selective transparency. The Gazette is public, but it's not popular. Let's be honest, no ordinary Kenyan spends their morning reading the Kenya Gazette over chai. So even if public land deals are being published, who's actually watching? The truth will be there, yes, but buried in PDF pages no one opens. And since the Gazette itself is a government publication, it can also be controlled. Imagine a controversial deal involving a high-ranking official. The notice might delay. A page might go missing. Transparency? Yes, but on the government's terms. That's not true openness. That's selective exposure. Weaponized lawfare. Now here's where it gets darker. This amendment gives the government and clever lawyers a new weapon: legal sabotage. A simple accusation that a piece of land wasn't properly gazetted could freeze a project overnight. Developers could lose millions. County projects could grind to a halt. All without a single bullet fired, just paperwork. It's the perfect political weapon. Use the law to destroy your opponent, legally. No drama, no headlines, just a slow procedural suffocation. And in Kenya's political theater, that's a tool too tempting to ignore. Power without oversight. The Registrar of Lands. One office, one person now wields enormous power. They can approve or reject public land registrations at will. That authority might sound like efficiency, but in a country where who you know often matters more than what the law says, it's dangerous. One missing document, one unclear boundary, and your project stops cold. Billions can vanish in red tape, hidden behind legal language and administrative discretion. Power without accountability always finds a way to serve itself. Land politics. Same players, new rules. Kenya's land problem has never just been about land. It's about who holds it and how they got it. From the first post-independence elites who grabbed farms meant for the people, to the modern cartels dividing forests and wetlands, land has always been the currency of power. So while this amendment feels like a reset, remember, the people implementing it are often the same ones who benefited from the chaos. It's hard to fix a system when the system fixes itself. Changing paperwork won't change intent. And a law, no matter how noble, is only as honest as the people enforcing it. The little good, a step, not a solution. Still, let's be fair, there is light here. For the first time, public land transactions must be visible. No more secret allocations, no more mysterious title deeds pulled from drawers. Every deal leaves a paper trail, a breadcrumb path that citizens, journalists, or whistleblowers can follow. Digital gazettement means there's now a permanent record. Counties can align their local plans with national data, reducing double allocations that fuel endless land disputes. And once people learn how to access and interpret these records, it can empower entire communities to defend their own soil. It's not perfect, but it's progress, a small flashlight in a dark room. The caveat of hope. This law can work if Kenyans make it work, if journalists dig, if communities demand access, if ordinary citizens understand that public land is theirs to protect. Because laws don't enforce themselves. They rely on people awake, aware, and unafraid. If we stay silent, the Land Amendment Act will become what so many Kenyan laws have become: a press conference, a headline, then a footnote. But if we speak up, question, and demand clarity, this act could finally begin to heal one of Kenya's oldest wounds. The Land Amendment Act 2025 is a mirror. It reflects both our hope and our history, our hunger for justice and our habit of silence. It reminds us that laws don't change people. People change laws. And in Kenya, that change begins with one simple truth: the land belongs not to the powerful, but to the people.